Hi everyone, welcome to this GCSE Higher Revision video. There's 57 days to go to your GCSE Maths exam, and today we're going to focus on two topics, the volume of a cone and the volume of a pyramid. Now they're kind of linked to each other because you kind of use the same technique for both of them. To find the volume of a pyramid, you do a third of the area of the base times by the perpendicular height. The perpendicular height is the height from the base to the highest point going straight up and down of that pyramid. So you do a third the area of the base times the perpendicular height. And likewise for a cone, and if you've got the Corbettmaths revision cards, card number 88 is useful for you, it's a third pi r squared, so a third of the area of the base, times by h, the perpendicular height of that cone. So in this video, we're going to go through how to find the volume of a pyramid and a cone, and then I've got some practice questions for you. And I'd highly recommend also that whenever you're doing the video, you pause the video and try those questions during the video. But also in the description below, in the description, I've got a link to the practice questions. And I highly recommend for this topic, for the volume of a cone and the volume of a pyramid, that you try those ones because it's a type of topic where the situation might change. But anyway, in this video, we're going to go through the volume of a cone and the volume of a pyramid. So let's get started. Okay, so today we're going to be looking at the volume of a pyramid and the volume of a cone. So let's start off by looking at the volume of a pyramid. So to find the volume of a pyramid, we do a third the area of the base multiplied by the height. So we do a third of the area of the base and then we multiply that by the height, and that'll give us the volume of the pyramid. So here we've got a pyramid, and the base of this pyramid is a rectangle. As you can see, it's 9 centimeters by 6 centimeters, and the height of the pyramid is 7 centimeters. So if I wanted to find the volume of this pyramid, what I would do is I'd find the area of the base, do a third of it, and then multiply by the height. So the volume is equal to a third the area of the base, so that would be 6 times 9, so 6 times 9, because it's a rectangle, the area of the rectangle would be 6 times 9, which would be 54, and then multiply by the height. So we would do a third, and 6 times 9 is equal to 54, and then we would multiply by 7. Now here we could do 54 multiplied by 7 and then divide by 3, or I'm going to do a third of 54 and then multiply by 7. So 54 divided by 3 is equal to 18. So we've got 18 multiplied by 7, and 18 multiplied by 7 would be equal to 126. So the volume of this pyramid would be 126 centimeters cubed, and that's it. So to find the volume of a pyramid, you do a third the area of the base and then multiply by the height, and that's it. Okay, so here's one for you to try now. Can you find the volume of this pyramid? So press pause and find the volume of this pyramid. Okay, so to find the volume of this pyramid, as you can see, the base is a rectangle, so we're going to do the volume is equal to a third. The area of the base, because it's a rectangle, it would be 12 times 8 would be its area, so 12 times 8, and then we're going to multiply it by its height, which is equal to 10. So that means the volume would be a third. Now 12 times 8 would be equal to 96, so it's a third of 96 multiplied by the height. Now you could do 96 times 10, which is 960, and then divide by 3. I'm going to do 96 divided by 3 first of all. I'm going to get a third of it, which is 32, and then multiply by 10, the height, and 32 times 10 is equal to 320 centimeters cubed. So if you go 320 centimeters cubed for the volume of that pyramid, well done. Okay, let's have a look at our next question. So our next question, we've been given a pyramid and we've been told its volume is 500 centimeters cubed, and we've been asked to work out the height of the pyramid. So feel free to press pause and to work out the height of this pyramid. So if I was to answer this question, the first thing I would do is write down that the volume of the pyramid is equal to a third the area of the base times the height. So the volume is equal to a third the area of the base times the height. The volume is equal to 500, so we'd have 500 is equal to a third the area of the base. So a third, and then the base is a rectangle, so we're going to do 8 times 15, the length times the width, 8 times 15, multiplied by the height, which we don't know, let's just call that h. So let's work out the area. 8 times 15 is equal to 120, and then so we'd have 500 is equal to a third of 120, multiplied by the height. A third of 120, let's work that out. So that's going to be 120 divided by 3 is 40. So we've got the 500 is equal to 40 multiplied by the height. Now you just need to divide by 40. So if we divide by 40, we'll find the height of the pyramid. We get that's equal to 12.5. So 12.5 equals the height, h. And that's it. So we solved that equation and found h, the height of the pyramid. So the height of the pyramid, the height is equal to 12.5 centimeters. And that's it. Okay, so we've had a look at finding the volume of a pyramid. Now let's have a look at finding the volume of a cone. So here we've got a cone, and to find the volume of a cone, we do a third pi r squared h. So the volume of a cone is a third the area of the base, the pi r squared, times the height. And in terms of your GCSE, that formula is given to you, so that you don't need to learn that one off by heart. Now I know it off by heart, but that one's given to you, so you don't need to learn it off by heart. So we've got the volume of a cone is a third pi r squared h. So here we've got a cone. I'm going to work out the volume of this cone now, and then after I do this one, there'll be one for you to try. Okay, so to start off with, here's an example, and I'm going to find the volume of this cone. Now I'm going to do this question twice. I'm going to do it as a calculator question to begin with, and then I'm going to show you how to do it as a non-calculator question. And then what I'm going to do is give you one to try yourself. So here we've got a cone, and what we're going to do is we're going to find the volume of it using a calculator to begin with. So if I was to use a calculator to find the volume of this cone, I'll just write down the formula. The volume is equal to a third times pi times the radius squared times the height. I would substitute in the values for the radius. So the radius of the base of the cone is 4 and the height of the cone is 9. So let's substitute those in. So the volume would be 1/3 multiplied by pi multiplied by the radius, which is 4 squared, then multiplied by the height of the cone, which is 9. And then I would just type this into my calculator. I would just do 1/3 multiplied by pi multiplied by 4 squared multiplied by 9. And when I do that, I get that's equal to 48 pi. That's going to be handy whenever we do this as a non-calculator approach. We're looking for 48 pi. But I'm going to change that into decimals. That'd be 150.79644474 and so on centimeters cubed. And if we're asked to give that to so many decimal places, let's give it a 1 decimal place. That'd be 150.8 centimeters cubed. And that's the volume of that cone. So that's how I'd work it out using a calculator. Now, if I was doing this question in terms of a non-calculator question, what I would do is I would start off with the first step, writing down the volume is equal to 1/3 multiplied by pi r squared multiplied by the height. I would then substitute in the values like I've done before. So 1/3 multiplied by pi multiplied by the radius of the base, which is 4 squared, then multiplied by the height of the cone, which is 9. So far it's the same. Now in a calculator question, I would just type this in. Without a calculator, I'm going to have to work it out. So remember our order of operations, we're going to square the radius first. So 4 squared is 16. So that's 1/3 multiplied by pi, and 4 squared is 16. So 16 multiplied by 9. Okay, so we've now got 1/3 times pi times 16 times 9. There's a few approaches we could use here. One approach is we could look, well, we're trying to do 1/3 of something. We could look for any numbers that are divisible by 3. So here the 9 is divisible by 3. So we could do 1/3 of 9 first of all, and 1/3 of 9 is equal to 3. And then we could do 3 times 16, and 3 times 16 is equal to 48. So that would be 48 pi. So that's how we could get 48 pi there, 48 pi centimeters cubed. So we've done 1/3 of 9, which is 3, and then done the 3 times 16, which is equal to 48. So we've got 48 pi centimeters cubed. Alternatively, you could do 16 times 9, so you could do 16 multiplied by 9. So 9 times 6 is 54, put the 4 down, carry the 5. 9 times 1 is 9, plus 5 is 14, so we've got 144. So that's 16 times 9 is 144, but we want 1/3 of it, so we're going to do 144 divided by 3. So how many 3's go into 1? 0, remainder 1. How many 3's go into 14? That'll be 4, remainder 2. And how many 3's go into 24? That'll be 8. So that'll be the 48 pi as well. So that would be the volume of that cone. And that's how we do it in terms of a calculator question and a non-calculator question. Okay, let's have a look now at a question for you to try. So here we've got a cone. This time we've got a cone. The diameter of the base of the cone is equal to 12 centimeters. The height of the cone is equal to 14 centimeters. Can you find the volume of this cone? And do the question twice. Do it as a calculator question to begin with, and then a non-calculator question after, and see if you can get it right. The volume is equal to 1/3 multiplied by pi multiplied by the radius of the base. Now the diameter of the base is equal to 12, so the radius would be equal to 6, so 6 centimeters would be halfway across, so that would be 6 squared multiplied by the height of the cone, which is 14. Now in a calculator question, this is great. We could just type this in. We could just do 1/3 multiplied by pi multiplied by 6 squared multiplied by 14, and if you do that, you get an answer of 168 pi, and that'd be handy for your non-calculator approach. Or in terms of a decimal, 527.7875 and so on centimeters cubed, and that would be the volume of that cone. If you got that, well done. And you could have rounded it to 527.8 or something like that centimeters cubed also. So that's how you do that question as a calculator question. You just type it in. In terms of a non-calculator question, you would do the first step the same. So you do 1/3 times pi times the radius of the base, which is 6 squared multiplied by 14. Let's do our Bob math. So we have to square first of all. 6 squared is equal to 36. So we get that's equal to 1/3 multiplied by pi multiplied by 36, because 6 squared is 36 multiplied by 14. Now at this point, you could do 36 times 14 and then divide by 3. I'm actually going to do 1/3 of 36 to begin with, and 1/3 of 36 is 12, and then we need to do times 14. So let's do 14 multiplied by 12 and see what we get. 2 times 4 is equal to 8, so put our 8 down. 2 times 1 is equal to 2, so we've got that's equal, so we've multiplied by 14 by 2 and got 28. Now we need to multiply by 10 to put our 0 down. 1 times 4 is 4, and 1 times 1 is equal to 1. And when we add those together, we get 168. So that'd be 168 pi centimeters cubed. And if you got that, well done. So I just done 1/3 of the 36, which is 12, and then done 12 times 14, and then that would be 168 pi centimeters cubed. Okay, let's have a look at one last question. Now this is a calculator question, and we've got this cone, and we're told the volume of this cone is 200 centimeters cubed. Find the radius of the circle R. Okay, so feel free to press pause and try this question now. So we want to find the radius. We want to find this R, the radius of the base of the cone, and we know the volume of the cone is equal to 200 centimeters cubed. So let's write down the formula. The volume is equal to 1/3 pi r squared h. So that's the volume of a cone, 1/3 of the area of the base, 1/3 of pi r squared times the height. So now let's substitute in the values we know. We know the volume is equal to 200, so we get 200 is equal to 1/3 multiplied by pi, multiplied by the radius of the base, which we don't know, so that's r squared, multiplied by the height of the cone, which is equal to 8. So we substitute in the volume and the height of the cone. Now, this is a calculator question, so we can work some of this out. We can do a third times pi times 8 on this right-hand side. So we've got 200 equals, and I'm going to do a third multiplied by pi multiplied by 8, and that gives me 8 thirds pi, or as a decimal number, 8.3775804, and so on. So we've got 8.3775 and so on multiplied, so that's a third times pi times 8, so we've still got our r squared, so multiply by r squared. Now we want to find out what r is, so we want to make r the subject, so let's get rid of this multiplying by 8.377 and so on, or 8 thirds pi. So we're going to divide both sides by 8.377 and so on, divide by 8.377 and so on. You could do 8 thirds pi there. So 200 divided by answer, I've still got that on my calculator display, and whenever I divide I get 23.873 and so on equals, so we've worked out the left hand side, and in terms of the right hand side we divided by 8.377 and so on to get rid of it, so we're left with just the radius squared. So we've got the radius squared is 23.873 and so on, so that's that value squared. We want to find the radius, so we now need to square root, so let's square root. So the radius would be equal to the square root of 23.873 and so on, and when we do that we get the radius is equal to the square root of answer, and we get that's equal to 4.886 centimeters to 3 decimal places, and that's it. So the radius of that cone is 4.886 centimeters to 3 decimal places, and that's it. And that's it. So in this video we've gone through how to find the volume of a pyramid, so a third the area of the base times the height, and also the volume of a cone, a third of the pi r squared times the height, the area of the base times the height. So in this video we've gone through the volume of a cone and the volume of a pyramid. I hope you found this video useful. If you have found it useful, please like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Also remember, in the description below is the practice questions, so feel free to give those a shot as well. But anyway, there's 57 days to go to your GCSE Maths exam. I just want to say at this point, keep up the hard work in class. You're doing fantastically well. Also look and see if there's any extra opportunities for you. Whenever I was teaching school, I used to do a lot of after-school revision sessions. So it might be that a teacher does maybe an after-school revision session or lunchtime drop-in sessions. I used to also do Saturday and Sunday sessions leading up to the exam. So chat to your teachers and see if there's any extra sessions on for you to get ready for your GCSE Maths exam. Because it's always worthwhile to avail of those extra opportunities, because who knows, in that one session that you do, you might go through the topic that comes up in the exam and you get those extra marks on. So I always think it's worthwhile doing that. But anyway, tomorrow there'll be 56 days to go into your GCSE Maths exam. So 3 o'clock on YouTube, the next video will be there. And tune in. Thanks very much. Cheers. Bye.